So it's been known for a while now that CD Projekt Red has begun pre-production on Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, codenamed Orion. It's also been known that their new studio in Boston will be heading this project. Apart from that, and the fact that Orion will run in Unreal Engine 5 instead of their usual Red engine, we don't really know much about Orion. We don't know where the game's going to take place, if it's going to remain in Night City, if V will return as our main protagonist, and if Johnny Silverhand will return. Really, all that we have and all that we're doing is speculating based off of job listings, a couple job listings, and that's what I want to go over. This first job listing kind of alluding to the fact that Orion might feature a multiplayer component. The job listing on CDPR's website stated that they were looking for someone who had experience in the multiplayer field. Now, when people first heard this, they automatically thought that this could have been for CDPR's other project, Project Sirius, which is a kind of spin-off multiplayer game of the Witcher series. But then we kind of found out that this might not be the case because this specific job posting was specifically on CD Projekt Red's Boston HQ website. And from what we know so far about the Boston HQ, we know that they're only working on Cyberpunk Orion. And from that, we can kind of just assume and speculate that they intend for Orion to have some sort of multiplayer component. Also, if you didn't know, they did intend for Cyberpunk 2077 to have a multiplayer component, but due to the game kind of failing at launch, they had to work on the base game, rather than focus on a multiplayer component. And that was a good idea on their end. They took all the criticism, took it to heart, really, I would say, put their heads down, went to work, and in turn, the game was a lot better. They fixed a lot of the core problems, I think, caused the issues at the launch of the game. And then they put out a DLC for the game, or expansion, I should say. Now they get to work on a sequel. And with all that being said, I do feel Orion now has the potential to be even better than Cyberpunk 2077, and that's saying a lot. The game's great. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel that Cyberpunk 2077 was sort of a staging ground for Orion. It shows what can be possible with this game, that the possibilities are endless, really, especially when the devs are given the proper amount of time to work on the game so that it doesn't come out half baked and it comes out as intended. All right, on to the next job listing. This is a more recent one, I believe, and apparently they are looking for a lead encounter designer for Orion, and the role would require the person to, quote, help formulate solutions for and help create memorable gameplay encounters that will thrill and excite our players. Further daily responsibilities of the role require the person to work in close collaboration with the systems design team to create the most realistic and reactive crowd system in any game to date. So it seems they intend for this game to have some really immersive, really in-depth AI if they're hiring someone to kind of oversee this whole portion of the game. Seems like them and Rockstar are in competition trying to get the most immersive world out ever. But yeah, this is also a good thing because currently Cyberpunk 2077's open world, in terms of just kind of like interacting with NPCs, there isn't really much to it. If that's one major thing I think I could change or fix about the game, it would be that interacting with the world more. Imagine if you could interact with people like in Red Dead 2, for example. You can talk to like everybody you see, whether it be greeting them, just saying hi, howdy, whatever, or having a full on conversation with them. And this would be a game changer for them because already Cyberpunk 2077's Night City is one of the most immersive like worlds, cities that I've ever partaken in. And I do think that's partially due to the fact that the game's lore is just very present in the game, if that makes sense. Everything in the game, everything in the world just connects so well together. When you take that and all the relationships you have, the ones you're able to build, the people you interact with daily, it all just kind of comes together well to create this massive immersive night city. That and the fact that the game's almost entirely in first person, which actually leads to my final job listing. They're apparently looking for a senior gameplay animator, and the listing states that crafting immersive first person experiences is one of the main responsibilities of the role. This one is kind of a touchy topic because a lot of people did have complaints at launch that the game didn't have a fully third person mode. You could only do it when you were driving a vehicle in the game, and you can't really see your character's outfits, and there's so much of this customization that you can't even see, which I completely understand. I think it's a completely valid stance to have. In a game like this, you do want to see how cool your character looks and all that. Though with that being said, I do think having the game mainly in first person is overall better for the game because it does kind of immerse you more. Just look at like with the cyberware, how you have to scan people, scan this, scan that, how you talk to people over the phone, you kind of see them in the corner of your eye. And also how in the game there's no cutscenes, everything is in game, all conversations, all just everything, all combat sequences, everything is all pretty much one shot. So I do hope they keep that going forward with Orion. That, along with the better and more reactive crowd system, will make the game even more immersive than 2077. All right, that's all from me. Let me know in the comments what you think of all this so far. Let me know if you're excited for Orion, Cyberpunk Orion. If you're interested in any of the things that I brought up in the video, I'm going to put all my sources in the description. And yeah, as always, like the video if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.